Have you ever wondered what private things you should never reveal once you reach 70? As we grow older, people often assume that age gives them the freedom to say or share anything. But the truth is, some things should be kept private, not because of shame, but because protecting your dignity, safety, and peace of mind becomes even more important with time. In this video, we're uncovering 4 deeply personal things you must keep private after 70 if you want to preserve your independence, protect your relationships, and maintain respect from those around you. Each of these things may seem harmless at first, but revealing them can quietly erode your security in the way others perceive you. Stay with me until the end, because you'll not only discover what to keep to yourself, but also how these small acts of discretion can keep you safer, stronger, and more respected in the years ahead. Now, let's get started. Number 1, your financial details. One of the most important private things to protect after 70 is your financial information. At this stage of life, money management becomes not only a matter of comfort, but survival. Yet too many seniors share financial details far too easily, often in the name of trust or casual conversation. Whether it's revealing how much you have saved, how much your pension pays, or what's written in your will, these disclosures can quietly expose you to manipulation, judgment, or even exploitation. Here's the truth. When people know too much about your financial position, they start treating you differently. Some may envy you, others might pity you. A few may even start plotting. How to benefit from your openness. I once knew a man named Charles, age 77, who casually mentioned to his neighbor that he had a comfortable retirement fund. Within months, relatives he hadn't heard from in years began calling, suddenly eager to visit. One even tried to convince him to co-sign a business loan. That innocent remark had opened a door that was hard to close. Protecting your financial privacy doesn't mean becoming suspicious, it means being wise. If someone asks how much you receive from Social Security or how your investments are doing, you can smile and say, "I'm comfortable, thank you." Keep your tone kind but firm. You owe no one an explanation for what you've earned through a lifetime of hard work. There's also a psychological element here. Discussing your money can make you vulnerable not only to others' greed, but to your own fears. If you constantly talk about how little or how much you have, you invite anxiety into your life. Keeping financial matters private helps you focus on peace rather than comparison. Be especially careful about sharing financial information with new acquaintances or caregivers. Scams that target seniors often begin with casual conversation. It might start with a friendly, "So, how do you manage your bills these days?" and end with someone accessing your personal accounts. Always remember, real friends respect your privacy. Anyone who pressures you to disclose financial details is not a friend, but a risk. If you feel lonely and want to connect, do it through shared interests, not shared bank statements. Talk about your memories, your hobbies, or what gives your days meaning. Leave money out of the conversation unless absolutely necessary. In the end, financial privacy is self-respect. In practice, it's the invisible fence that keeps your independence intact. Protect it, guard it, and treat it like the shield that it is. Because once you let someone inside that circle of trust, it's nearly impossible to push them back out. Number 2, your health records and personal weaknesses. After 70, your health becomes one of your most personal forms of information and one of the most sensitive. Yet too many older adults discuss their ailments openly, often without realizing how it shapes how others see them. When you constantly talk about your medical conditions, prescriptions, or physical limitations, people begin to define you by them. They stop seeing you as capable, wise, and independent, and start viewing you through the lens of fragility. Your health story belongs to you. It is a record of everything you've overcome, every scar, every recovery, every quiet victory. But not everyone deserves to hear it. Discussing it casually can expose you to unnecessary pity, judgment, or even exploitation. Some people may use your health details to manipulate you emotionally or to gain control under the guise of helping. I once met a woman named Linda, 74, who shared too much about her declining eyesight with a neighbor she barely knew. Within weeks, that neighbor began insisting on helping her with errands, handling her bills, even driving her to the bank. Eventually, it became clear that the neighbor's intentions weren't kindness, they were control. Linda had unknowingly handed her vulnerability to the wrong person. This doesn't mean you should hide your health from doctors, trusted family, or close friends, but it does mean you should be selective. Share details only with people who need to know and who have proven themselves trustworthy. If someone keeps asking intrusive questions about your medications, surgeries, or test results, it's okay to draw a boundary. You can simply say, "I'm managing things well, thank you," and leave it there. Talking constantly about illness can also wear down your own spirit. When every conversation revolves around pain, prescriptions, or hospital visits, it reinforces a sense of decline. Over time, you start identifying yourself with your symptoms instead of your strength. Protecting your privacy helps protect your mindset. Your health challenges don't define you, they're just part of your journey. Remember this, your resilience deserves to be honored, not reduced to a medical chart. You've survived countless storms, and you have nothing to prove by listing them. When you choose silence about certain struggles, you are not hiding, you are preserving dignity. If you want to discuss your health, focus on lessons, not limitations. Instead of saying, "My knees hurt all the time," try, "I've learned to listen to my body and move more carefully now." How to benefit from your openness. I once knew a man named Charles, age 77, who casually mentioned to his neighbor that he had a comfortable retirement fund. Within months, relatives he hadn't heard from in years began calling, suddenly eager to visit. One even tried to reframing transforms you from a patient into a teacher. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 3. Your family conflicts and private relationships. One of the most common mistakes older adults make is sharing too much about family disagreements, personal conflicts, or private relationships. It might feel natural to talk about these things, especially when you're lonely or frustrated, but after 70, discretion becomes a form of wisdom. What you reveal about your family can shape how others see both you and your loved ones, often in ways that can't be undone. When you share stories about your children's mistakes, your grandchildren's behavior, or arguments within your family, people begin to form opinions, and those opinions can linger for years, coloring every future interaction. Even casual remarks you said in frustration can damage relationships beyond repair. I once knew a man named Edward, 82, who often confided in his friends about his son's financial troubles. He wasn't trying to embarrass anyone, he was just venting, but word spread, as it always does. Before long, the story reached his son's workplace, and it deeply strained their relationship.
Edward learned too late that every private word had carried weight. When you're older, people tend to take your words as truth. They assume your perspective is objective because of your age and experience. That means your stories, true or not, can carry a kind of authority that shapes how others treat your family. Protecting their privacy is a form of love, even if you sometimes feel disappointed or hurt. There's another dimension to this. Speaking too openly about family issues can isolate you emotionally. Some friends will quietly pull away, afraid of being the next subject of gossip. Others will listen but lose respect, mistaking your openness for lack of judgment.
By keeping personal matters private, you preserve both your dignity and your relationships. Even small details can create complications. Talking about your will, inheritance plans, or who deserves what can turn a peaceful family into a divided one. Those conversations belong in private settings with the right people at the right time, and never as casual talk. It's also important to guard the privacy of your romantic life if you have one. Many older adults find companionship later in life, and that's a beautiful thing. But the more you share about it, the more others feel entitled to judge or interfere. Protecting that relationship's privacy keeps it sacred. If you need to release tension or talk about something painful, choose a single trusted confidant, a lifelong friend, a counselor, or a faith leader, someone who listens without spreading your words. Your emotional well-being matters, but so does your reputation. There's also a spiritual truth in silence. When you speak less about your family's flaws, you leave room for healing. You stop feeding resentment and start nurturing peace. That kind of quiet strength sets an example for the younger generation. They learn from how you protect what matters. After 70, your words carry the weight of a lifetime. Use them not to divide, but to protect. Speak in ways that bring dignity to your story and grace to those you love. Silence at times is not withholding, it's wisdom in its purest form. Number 4, your regrets and emotional wounds. There's one final thing you must learn to protect. After 70, your deepest regrets and emotional wounds. As the years pass, many older adults begin to share their pain too freely, believing it brings relief or connection. But when shared in the wrong setting or with the wrong people, those private sorrows can be misunderstood, misused, or even turned against you. Every person who lives long enough collects regrets. Choices not made, words not said, opportunities missed. But not every story needs to be told. The things that weigh on your heart are sacred. They shaped your wisdom, not your worth. And speaking them carelessly can open wounds that deserve peace, not exposure. I once met a woman named Eleanor, 81 years old, who often spoke about her estranged daughter. She shared the same story again and again with anyone who would listen. Neighbors, strangers at the grocery store, even her mail carrier. Each time she hoped someone might help her make sense of the past. But over time, her story became her identity. People stopped seeing her as Eleanor the kind neighbor or Eleanor the painter. She became the woman whose daughter doesn't speak to her. By oversharing, she unintentionally reduced her own story to a single painful chapter. There's nothing wrong with reflection. In fact, honest reflection is a hallmark of wisdom. But sharing deep emotional pain requires discernment. The more you give your private grief to the public, the more power it has over you. Healing happens in silence, in prayer, in trusted conversation, not in repeating the same wound to anyone who will listen. Your pain does not need validation from others to be real. You've lived through enough to know that peace doesn't come from sympathy.
It comes from understanding. When you hold certain experiences close to your heart, you protect their meaning. You honor them as lessons, not burdens. It's also about protecting your emotional energy. When you constantly revisit regret, your mind begins to live in the past, your spirit slows down, and the joy that could be part of your present moment slips away. Keeping your regrets private helps you stay anchored in today. That doesn't mean silence is isolation. It means you choose carefully whom to trust with your truths. A friend who listens without judgment, a counselor who understands the aging heart, or a quiet journal where your thoughts can rest. These are safe places. But the world doesn't need to know everything that once hurt you. The world only needs to see the strength you built because of it. At 70, 80, or beyond, your dignity is your shield. When you share every sorrow, you weaken that shield. But when you keep certain emotions sacred, you remind yourself that your life is still your own.
You are not defined by your pain, your past, or your mistakes. You are defined by how you carry them with grace. So the next time you feel the urge to pour out your heart to someone who hasn't earned your trust, take a deep breath and remind yourself silence can be an act of strength. The deepest peace often comes not from being heard, but from learning to listen to yourself. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Final thoughts. As we reach our later years, privacy becomes more than just a preference. It becomes a boundary that protects our peace, safety, and self-respect. The things you choose to keep private after 70 aren't secrets, they're shields. They safeguard the dignity you've earned through decades of living, learning, and enduring. Think back on the 4 areas we've covered: your finances, your health, your family, and your regrets. Each one carries pieces of your life that deserve care. When you protect them, you're not being guarded, you're being wise. You're saying, I've lived long enough to know what's sacred. The truth is, oversharing can slowly erode how people see you. It can invite pity where you deserve respect, or curiosity where you deserve peace. But when you learn to hold certain things close, you command quiet authority. You teach others that your life story isn't for public consumption. It's for reflection, not display. That's the paradox of aging with grace. The less you reveal, the more power your presence carries. Silence becomes strength, and dignity becomes your legacy. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.